ជំរាបសួរបងប្អូនទាំងអស់គ្នា I am honored and humbled to stand alongside Sudu for Solidarity and ICE out of Dublin and the many elders and young leaders of the movement today. The intergenerational solidarity grounds me and empowers me. Thank you all for your courage and for coming out today. Give yourselves a round of applause. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. And this is in Khmer. Bel Young Pachang, Young Nang Chna. Bel Young Pachang, Young Nang Chna. Bel Young Pachang, Young Nang Chna. I pray for the guidance of our ancestors that came before us. And in our blood and bones, I know we are our ancestors' prayers. Standing together as a collective community, celebrating our differences, and remembering we are all human, we are all sacred, and our lives are precious, and all of our lives are valued. No one deserves to be in ICE detention, and no one deserves to die in these cages. Dublin community does not need ICE and detention centers here. I am second generation Khmer, a child of Cambodian genocide survivors. And throughout all my life, I understood deeply my duty as a son to learn my Khmer language, to set forth on a healing journey and uplift our ancestral healing practices so that I can help co-create a new language so that our generations may understand each other. Some of our elders could not tell us about their experience of genocide and war, in fear that pain and suffering will live in us, though that silent messages were still passed down to us. New Light Wellness was born from a coalition to serve Southeast Asian families impacted by incarceration and deportation. Lifting up the stigma of mental health has been a lifelong journey in our community. And we are here now to uplift the stigma of incarceration, deportation, and detainment. For today, our Southeast Asian community members and families are under attack by this administration, and many feel they are suffering alone. During Memorial Day weekend, over 150 people were deported to Laos and Vietnam in the largest mass deportation in Southeast Asia. Shame! Shame! And as the world has witnessed the ICE raids and arrests and at court hearings and ICE check-ins, all of our strategies to fight and advocate for our community members are changing. And now there is a real fear of third country deportation, where our Southeast Asian community members are being deported to South Sudan and Eswatini. To understand how we got here, we must remember our own history. This year, 2025, marks the 50th anniversary of the end of the Southeast Asian wars and the beginning of the largest refugee resettlement program in the U.S., where more than 1 million refugees from Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos were resettled in the United States in the 80s and 90s. We must remember, if the U.S. was not there, we would not be here.
That's right.
Vietnam War is a misnomer. In Vietnam, it's called the American War. And in the secret war of Laos, the U.S. dropped 220 million tons of bombs. These massive craters still exist in Laos today. The U.S. dropped over 500,000 tons of bombs in Cambodia, killing innocent civilians, creating the instability that made way for the Khmer Rouge genocide. And in all three countries, the U.S. involvement pitted ethnic groups against each other, and this legacy impacts us today. In our own Southeast Asian and AA NHPI communities, we must unpack, resist, and dismantle the model minority myth, which only bolsters white supremacy and anti-blackness in our own communities and pits races against each other. Many of our Southeast Asian communities were resettled in enclaves in East Oakland, West Oakland, Long Beach, Stockton, Fresno, Modesto, and the Tenderloin of San Francisco, surviving in neighborhoods alongside our Black and Brown community members with little resources for mental health care, neighborhoods already enduring violence, poverty, over-policing, racism, during the time of mass incarceration and the war on drugs. I stand by our 1.5 generation, the youngest survivors of war and genocide, the ones settled in these conditions, the most vulnerable to the school-to-prison and now deportation pipeline. They are misunderstood and misrepresented, often called the lucky ones by our own elders. Though many of them are the firstborns of their families, many had to be the interpreters at social services. Many had to drop out of high school to get jobs to put food on their tables, and while still holding their own traumas with little relief and little support. Surviving the streets they grew up on, many made mistakes. Some were convicted as children and served life sentences. These community members and loved ones we fight for have served their time to society. And after being found suitable for parole, many are directly transferred to ICE. Shame! Shame! The community members that we have fought for who are released from ICE have rebuilt their lives and have contributed meaningfully to our communities. Many provide for their families and homes and have businesses and are part of unions. And they are still at risk of this unjust deportation and this double punishment, being deported to countries that do not have the infrastructure to receive them. An estimated of over 15,000 Southeast Asian Americans have received final removal orders across the U.S. Our Pardon Refugees Coalition is growing out of a need to bring our communities together, to strengthen our voices, to hold political education in our many different languages, to hold together our elders and youth and our history, so that we dare to dream of the next 50 years of where we find our home and belonging here in the U.S. and with each other. We seek pardons for our community members and alongside all immigrants and refugee community members. We do not need more detention centers, and we do not need more family separation. These ICE cages are designed to break the human spirit. We do not need ICE in Dublin. Our spirit is strong. And it is clear we must resist the temptation of narratives that says one community is more deserving than another. We will remember, we are not free until we are all free. Yes! Thank you.